Hi everyone, it's Al Nygren from the New Jersey Film Festival, back with our last filmmaker interview for the fall 2015 New Jersey Film Festival season. Today we have a very talented director, her first feature documentary called The Lords of BSV, and her name is Maria Socor. Welcome, Maria.
Hi, Al. Thank you.
Thanks so much for coming. The Lords of BSV is a very interesting documentary about a group of people that live in Bedford-Stuyvesant, Brooklyn, and who aspire to become dancers. But the kind of dance that they do is something that I didn't know much about until I saw your movie, Maria. It's called Bruckup.
Yes,
correct?
It is.
Tell us about the film and Bruckup and how you got involved.
Sure. Well, Bruckup was created by George Bruckup Adams, originally in Jamaica, and the style sort of died down a little bit. And then in the 90s, later 90s, Poba and Blackie, two of the characters in the film, actually revived this dance style. And the dance style it has the foundation of Bruckup dance, which translates into broke up. So it looks like they almost contort themselves, and the movements are a little bit different because it looks like they're bone breaking. But each dancer has that Bruckup foundation, and then they use that style to basically evolve it into their own dance style with the foundation of Bruckup.
So, but how did you get involved in this film?
I was actually doing a narrative, and it didn't work out, unfortunately, but my field producer, Frank Orfici, brought me over to them, and he showed me the YouTube videos, and I saw the hits. I mean, they had millions of hits, and he had this huge following of dancers around the world, but I just found them to be so amazing and compelling in every single way. So I said, I have to do this documentary. I have to get this done and let people know about the dance education and also the great people and the great community behind it.
Yeah, and I think that your film is so multifaceted. You say it's a dance documentary. It's a disservice to you and to the film because it's so much more than that.
Thank you.
And I think you get to know some of the lead characters that make up the BSV. And BSV stands for Bed-Stuy Veterans, correct?
Yes, it does.
And so they came up with their own name because they wanted to put, I guess, some kind of context to what they were doing. And you get, I think the film goes through and introduces you one by one through all of these people, and you really get to know them by the end of the film. It's really a wonderful thing.
Thank you.
So tell us a little bit more about, the film took 4 years to make?
It took 4 years to make. We started in November of 2009.
Wow.
And as we're putting the story together, I have to tell you honestly, I didn't know where we were going to go with it. I originally wanted to cover the dance education, and then when I started to learn about the characters, at least for me, it's very important that we develop characters and we know who they are, what their intent behind their style, dance style is, or in any film, character development is essential.
Yeah.
And we also I found Brooklyn to be a character. I found Bed-Stuy, a community that's being gentrified, that there's all these wonderful streets and buildings and these, pre-World War II buildings that are sort of changing or being torn down or not, being refurbished. And we wanted to capture the community as well, so that's why it opens up with Brooklyn. It goes into the dance and it goes into the characters.
Yeah, and the other thing is that the individuals who are focused on in the film see that dance might be a way out of a kind of dead-end situation, and that they see the opportunity to become dancers as a way to express themselves and their situation at the same time. Did you feel that as you were making the film?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Bruckup is a dance culture, and they do this. I really believe that this dance form saves lives, and then people will say, well, how? And it's because I think that art transcends a community. It transcends a group of people. It transcends any type of religious background, moral background, ethnic background, doesn't matter. But particularly to Bruckup style, they do this all day. That's all they do. They dance all day. They want to perform. They want to find gigs that keep them working, which they are. But they also help the community. For people that have so little financially, they are so wealthy because all they want to do is spread this dance form throughout the community, and it keeps kids off the streets.
Right.
And then they have LOUD, the League of Unreal Dancing, where not only kids in the community, but kids from everywhere, young young men, young women as well come from all parts of the world to battle BSV, and nobody can beat them because they're so compelling. But it's amazing to see this type of dance style and this dance culture evolve, not only within its form, but just in a social form. And that's why I believe this is also a social action.
Yeah, very much so. I mean, I remember the fellow who eventually made it onto AGT.
Oh, Turf.
Turf, yeah. And you find out that he's homeless, or at least he was homeless for 2 years. And then the scene where he's carrying around all the money, I think, is really funny to me. He reminded me of Andy Warhol, and Warhol used to carry around bags of money because he didn't have anything, and now he wanted the actual stuff. But he didn't want it for himself. He wanted to share it with everybody else.
And that's how they are. They're a family. They're a dance community. You know, it's amazing. I haven't seen that type of connection or unified action since the 60s, when everyone used to live in maybe a communal home and take care of one another.
But that's one of the other things I wanted to ask you. Is there competition amongst them? I mean, they obviously want to be the best.
Yes.
But when Turf comes on the scene, he comes back home, or he's not from there, but he comes to hang out with BSV. Is there a rivalry there? I mean, is it something that they embrace, or?
Well, they do these things every week now called dance sessions, where they just go and they dance. They don't necessarily battle each other, but what they do is they just come together and they dance. But I think there is a underlying competitive tone to each and every one,
sure.
But they also support one another.
And it's not just men either. I mean, at first I thought, oh, it's just guys, but there are women that are involved in this as well, and they're embraced by the men.
They are. Well, there's one dancer, Betty Spaghetti. She's just so dear and warm to my heart. I adore her. And she battles as well, but she's really fantastic. When you see her out there, I mean, she drops the vanity. She gets in it. She's gritty.
A different person, yeah.
She's totally a different person.
Definitely. Well, the other thing I wanted to talk to you about, since we have, you know, a few more seconds to go, is how do we describe Bruck-Up to an audience? You know, we want people to come to see this film, and what are they going to be seeing? It's not breakdancing.
Not at all.
And it's not a kind of formal dance. How would you describe it? I think you described it as Martha Graham.
A possessed Martha Graham?
Yeah.
Well, Bruck-Up is, again, the nature of it, it comes from dance hall. That's the foundation. But there's so many different facets to it. There's tutting, there's pausing, there's also mutation style and animation style, and of course dance hall roots. So it's a mixture of dance, but when you see the dance as well, you're also going to see a dance culture that you've never seen before. And you're going to see it in a different documentary form as well, where you're seeing an ensemble cast, and you're seeing, you know, dancers that take all different types of styles with the Bruck-Up Foundation, and they develop it into something else that becomes a part of their life and becomes a part of who they are. And it's a very passionate story told with a lot of love, a lot of hope, and I'm sure once people will see it, they will fall in love with these characters just like I did.
And just like I did too. And folks, you have to come and see this film. We're going to be doing a New Jersey premiere of this film.
Yay!
On Saturday, October 3rd, and that's going to be the second film. There's a short film called Matter, Space, Time by Kira Benzing that's going to open the film that has a connection to the Lords of BSV, and her film is 9 minutes long. She'll be there to introduce her film, as well as Maria's going to be there to introduce Lords of BSV, and there's a general Q&A session at the end of the program. So folks, come and check out this film, Saturday, October 3rd, in Voorhees 105 at 7 p.m., $10 general admission, $9 for students and seniors. You get free food courtesy of Jimmy John's, free parking. It's a wonderful event, and come and join us. You won't be sorry. Thanks so much for listening. Thanks so much for coming, Maria.
Thank you, Al.
A lot of us go to the community schools in the districts, and we're like a family. We are a family. It's not a, you know, like, we are a family.
We show the kids it's not just the streets out there. You start taking the little kids from the streets, and you start just showing them the way, and people sprout out. They keep that gift with them for the rest of their life.